So there's 3 bolts that hold the door latch assembly on, and then there's a little spring clip. Not really a spring clip. You got to get underneath it with a flat screwdriver and just gently work it forward, and it comes off the mechanism, the rod, and then you can just pop the rod out. So if you're replacing your rod but not the door latch, be sure not to lose that. If you drop it down in the door, it's kind of a pain to fish out. But I broke mine, so it didn't matter, but I had a brand new latch because I broke the whole handle. So that's what we're doing here, is replacing that. Here's that little tab I was telling you about. You got to lift up the back side and release it and just slide it a little forward. Then you can pop the door mechanism rod out of that. So as you can see, I had the one little piece in my hand. I broke that, but that was the old one. The whole thing was junk. So, but when you get your new door latch, it's part of a bigger piece, and if you break that off, your latch is done. You got to get a new one again. So that's what happened there. But like I said, the part you actually grab with your hand to release the door to get out, that broke off originally. So that's why we're in here doing this. Now there's 3 bolts that hold that door latch assembly to the door frame. And if you put the bottom one in first, there's only one that goes on the bottom. That will hold it up. Just don't tighten it. That way you have some adjustment to get the top 2 holes lined up. And that way you don't have to fight with it like I did here. And this part, the bottom one went in fine, and the one directly above it on the top went in fine, but the one where my left hand is was not lining up. So what I did was I took the other 2 loose, didn't take them out. That way I had some adjustment, and then once I tightened down the top right one as you're facing it, it pressed that plate against the door frame and allowed it to line up the left hand upper hole. I thought I'd put the rod in wrong, had it on the wrong side of the door. After I took it back apart carefully so I didn't break or lose anything, I realized that I had it right the first time, so then I put it back together. No big deal. We all make mistakes. I'd rather do it right and have it right now before I put the door back together and realize that something's in the wrong spot and the door doesn't open without rolling the window down. And we don't need that because say your window crank broke and now you got to slide out the passenger side. That's a real pain. So anyway, double check your work, make sure everything's where it needs to be. One thing you can do is take pictures of everything before and as you're taking it apart. That way you know how it goes back together. I didn't do that here, so I just double checked my work and disassembled and reassembled and mocked up and tried it again and again. Well, actually I only did it once. But the point is, just make sure you have all your steps and bases covered before you do final assembly. That way, you're not having to pull it back apart after you realize that, oh crap, something's not right. It's not working. The door doesn't open. What do I do? So I put the window crank back on temporarily, rolled the window down so I could close the door and reach in and make sure that the door latch works. Now, once I figured that out, we went back and took the window crank off, excuse me, and started buttoning her up. Now that little rubber pad in my hand right there, that's just a little like buffer, grommet, or whatever that slips over your door latch. And there's a notch on the back that coincides with the part of the latch on the spring. It's got a little indentation so you know which way it goes and you're not fumbling around trying to figure it out. It's pretty easy. I don't imagine every truck still has those in there if the door's been apart a bunch of times or whatever, but this one does. This one pretty much has mostly everything it came with, honestly. I'm still in shock at how much of an original vehicle this is. Very happy with it. And here we are, job completed, just putting the window crank handle back on, and everything works and everything's back the way it's supposed to be. So, pretty simple job. If you've never done it before, it'll take you a few minutes, but all in all, we did a good deal here. So, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop me a comment.